Hi all, this is your professor. I'm recording a short video where I talk about essay number 3. This is your essay that's coming up in a few weeks. This is the essay where you get to do a deep dive into a conspiracy theory of your choice. So let's take a look. I'm in the modules page. I created a module under week 9, which is all about essay number 3. So let's open up the instructions, take a look at what we're looking for here. Breakdown of the timetable as usual, right? Nothing to be surprised by. The only thing different really, I guess, different dates of course, but this paper is a bit longer. You want to think about 6 or more pages. That'll make sense when you still look at the structure too. I know that sounds like a lot, but actually once you start doing all the different parts that I'm looking for this paper, it's going to fill out very quickly. So the topic, of course, this semester we've been discussing how and why conspiratorial ideation operates in our society, why we have such a prevalence of conspiracy theories and what we can do about that. We've looked at some of them in brief, but this is your chance to choose one and do a little bit more digging and get more involved, right? So you're going to choose one. I have some examples here. QAnon we've talked about. There's already resources. This is a very current, easy one. Easy is maybe the wrong word, but a really good one to work on because it's so topical. But flat earthers, doomsday preppers you could work on, chemtrails, people were talking about that. In one of the perusal things, chemtrails is still something. George Soros, if you don't know who that is, he ties in with a whole bunch of conspiracy theories, especially QAnon. Area 51, if you want. 9/11, if you want to go there. Anti-vaxxers. So there's a number of conspiracy theories you could look at. If you don't really want to get involved with topical, really hot button stuff, you could go like Area 51, right? You could look at chemtrails, flat earthers. They're a little more tame, I guess, right? They're not so tied up with current election stuff and all that, so maybe something to think about. Remember, regardless of the topic you choose, you want to be part of the ongoing conversation. You're not just summarizing, you get involved with the debate. And here's the structure for this. I'm looking for something pretty specific. This is based on a very old argumentation method called the Stasis Model. This was pioneered by 4th century BCE Greek thinkers, including Aristotle. He used a model like this. He isn't credited with originating this, but he is attached to this theory as well, this model. And this is what I've used for the proposal, right? If you open up the proposal, it looks like this. Let me just get a better view of this, right? It's similar to what you've seen before, right? I want you to fill out a table. I want you to list 3 conspiracies you're interested in, why. Choose your favorite, explain why you want to work on that one, and then fill out the table. And the table, I've used the Stasis Model of argumentation. The Stasis Model involves 4 parts, 4 questions, big, broad questions, and then as people have a series of sub-questions that they use. And the Stasis Model is one is still used by a lot of people, including lawyers, researchers, right? They use different versions of this model to help them tackle big controversial issues, big multifaceted issues. So what I want you to do here with the proposals, you don't have to answer all of these questions. You just have to answer whatever you can, whatever piques your interest, whatever is relevant to you, right? And basically the Stasis Model, asks you to, okay, is there a problem, right? What is, did something happen? Is there actually a problem? What is that problem? Define it. Okay, so what is good and bad about this problem? What can we do about this problem? And then what needs to be done, right? What should we do about this problem? So it's this 4-part question that is a very old form of argumentation. This is what I want you to do for the proposal, right? So what I've put here, what you already know. So did something happen? You could write, yeah, QAnon is in the news. It's something that's really going on. What do you need to learn? Well, I don't know where it came from. I don't know who's a proponent of this theory. I don't know why people are, that kind of thing, right? And you could go through as many of these questions as you feel are relevant for you. This is a way for you to define and narrow down your topic, okay? So don't feel like you have to answer all these questions. But you should answer whatever you think is relevant, and you should answer it specifically. This is all about helping you, right? When I go through your proposal, I offer feedback and double check that you did the work, but really this is about you narrowing down your topic. This is basically this is a pre-writing activity for you to work on your paper. Okay, and then there's some questions afterwards. Did you find this method useful? Just thinking about, the stasis method. Formulate a preliminary thesis statement, and then of course my usual questions about obstacles and challenges and where and when you'll write the paper. Okay, that's the proposal. Sorry to jump around a bit. Let's jump back to, where am I? Oh, there we go. Back to the instructions for the actual paper. So you'll see that the structure also coincides with that stasis model of argumentation. So your first part, did something happen? So you're going to outline the conspiracy theory you've chosen. This is your introduction, right? And offer a thesis about the reasons people believe this theory and what should be done. So very briefly, what appeals about it specifically, and what should be done. Now here's the key to this paper is being specific, right? So let's say you've chosen QAnon. I'm going to talk about QAnon. You can't talk about everything to do with QAnon because it's this big, baggy conspiracy theory. Let's say you want to focus in on what QAnon has been doing with Wayfarer, right? There's been a recent thing about, I don't know if you've seen this in the news about, they were accusing Wayfarer of trafficking in human children. Well, children, I should just say children. Not trafficking in feline children, right? They're trafficking in children. That's what they were accused of. This furniture company, Wayfarer, and they were doing it via like codes in their mail order catalog and stuff. This is what QAnon was, accusing them of. Of course, it's all make believe, but or unsupported, I should say. So that would be a good way to focus this topic down, right? Because you can't cover everything about QAnon, so you want to cover one facet. Or, I'm marking, or in your second paper, a number of people covered the idea of, or this way that QAnon is appealing to mothers by using child trafficking as like a main thrust of their conspiracy theory. So that could be a way to focus this down too, right? The more focused and specific you can be about an element of the conspiracy theory, the better. Because that way you'll be able to offer specific solutions, right? I don't expect you to cover all of QAnon in a 6-page paper and then also offer solutions to how we can debunk QAnon and convince people that this is that they shouldn't listen to unsupported conspiracy theories, right? I don't expect you to do that in 6 pages. That would be an impossible task. That's why you need to narrow down to a facet of a conspiracy theory, right? Don't try to cover it all. You are going to set yourself up for failure if you are not very specific here. Okay, so once you get that nice specific opening, right? Did something happen? Then comes probably the longest part of your paper. What is the nature of the problem? Because you're going to want to give a bit of the history of the conspiracy theory you've chosen, right? Describe the community that surrounds this theory, and this is where you're going to need to do a lot of research and look at the discourse community surrounding it. Right? Where do people share ideas about QAnon? You're going to have to go onto Reddit. You're going to have to look at what people are talking about. You have to read articles about it. You're going to want to cite some of those things, right? Cite the kind of people who are involved. Get into who believes in this. Or if you're working on, say, Flat Earth, you're going to want to go to the Flat Earth Society. Look at other places where people share ideas. So you're describing the nature of the problem and describing some of the well, actually, that's in the next section. So what action should be taken? I put this in the next section. So this will be, the nature of the problem, describing the conspiracy theory, the history, the people who believe in it, why they believe in it, what action should be taken. So, after you establish there is a problem and describe the nature of the problem, that's your first 2 sections, you're going to propose solutions. So first, you're going to want to spend some time analyzing the appeal. Why do people believe in this theory? What is it about QAnon or Flat Earth or chemtrails that is appealing, right? And you can use some of the resources we've used in class. You can go back to Hofstadter, some of the other articles, the one, Oliver and Wood, where they're looking at conspiratorial ideation and who believes in these things, right? You can use all these sources to think about why people believe in this specific theory. You can try to apply some of those ideas, right? And then think about specific things we can do to rectify the situation. Again, if you're super specific, right? If you're talking about the way again, the QAnon uses mothers and that appeal to mothers to spread their theories, you're going to have better, you're going to come up with better, more specific theories, right? Because then you can work on, how do we deal with this problem of QAnon targeting mothers rather than QAnon in general. Does that make sense? You want to be specific in outlining your problem in the beginning in order to really make it possible to outline specific solutions. All right, so page or two for that. Then fourth section, what objections might be raised, right? We're going to use counter arguments for this paper. So are there any counter arguments that could be raised? What might you argue if you were on the other side of this debate, right? And the whole key with a counter argument is you're setting up a counter argument in order to debunk it to strengthen your own argument. Okay, so the section on counter arguments, that should be a paragraph or two long, a page about, and then conclude with what we might do in the future. Right? Summarize your thesis, some of your findings. Don't go point by point, of course, just a brief summary, and try to leave your reader with a final thought about what the next step we need to do, specific next step we need to do to solve your specific problem that you've been outlining. You don't need to solve conspiracy theories in general. You don't need to solve QAnon as a whole, right? You just need to focus on your specific part of that issue, okay? There are specific research requirements for this paper. This is a research paper, so please look over those carefully. Some tips here I have. You can get a bonus mark, remember, if you take it to a tutor. And as Morgan Freeman would say, relax, you've got this. Okay, and that's about it for now. Sorry for the long video, but I wanted to go through all the different parts at once. So if you have any questions or concerns about the paper, come and see me, come and see Rebecca, see a tutor, okay, sooner rather than later. Thank you very much.